Welcome, this is Nick from Beer and Bat Reps, and today we have what we've been hinting at for a while, the Battle of the Yellow Armies. We have the yellow and blue Craftworld Iyanden, and the yellow and black Necrons, the Satan Star Gods as we call them. It is a Satan heavy list. It has 3 Transcendent Satans, both the named ones, and a Tesseract Volt. There's going to be a lot of powers going off. Got a couple other little tricks up his sleeve. We got a unit I've never tried before in the flayed ones. That sounds kind of fun. But man, this Iyanden list, it's so tough. 25 Wraith Guard with 3 wounds and T6 each. 3 Wraith Lords with their T8, 10 wounds each. It's just a lot of beef. A lot of fast units too that don't seem like high priority targets, so they get to zip around grabbing all the objectives. So it's going to be a pretty good game. We've never played them against each other, so we've kind of, theory hammered, talking to each other about who would potentially do really good. We know that the Wraith card could drop and hit this thing pretty hard, but all these spells could really do some work against these tough units. Your high toughness, high save doesn't matter much against all these mortal wounds. I have 3 Transcendent Satan, all with 3 up invols, which sounds really good on paper, but he has the, Jinx, the spell that makes my save 1 worse than normal, so it's going to be really good. He definitely has board control and speed, but I have just really, really powerful Satan Star Gods that are here to enslave the Craftworld. Yeah, this is one we've been talking about for a long time. So, yellow fight, here we go. I think now, after you see these 2 yellow armies, you kind of understand why our Imperial Fist army is not yellow. Why we went purple. Can't have half my collection be yellow. So, for the mission, we're actually going to we're going to try multi-ball today. So, multi-ball is kind of the nickname for it. There are 6 objectives. You roll a dice at the beginning of every turn. Whatever objective that number corresponds with, it's worth 2 points, and the rest are all worth 1. But if you roll a 6, ding, 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 they're all worth 2. So it's definitely an objective-based game, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We're super excited. As you may or may not know, we're still in the middle of a pandemic. We still can't see each other or have people in our houses. So we have Noah coming in virtually, like we've been doing for the last couple reports. Basically, I'll have him set up on a little tripod with his face on a screen. He tells me where to move his armies, his units. He rolls the dice on his end. He has the books and stratagems on his end. And we just play Warhammer, but through a screen. Because of that, we're probably going to do more of a recap version instead of the full 2-hour length one. That way, it's just a little easier with him on a tripod like that, shorten it up like that, because we use the phone to do a lot of the recording. Speaking of which, I just bought a brand new camera. It's being shipped right now, so that'll be awesome. So hopefully production quality is about to go up. Hopefully sound quality will go up as well, because we'll be able to hook a microphone. We'll be able to wear little mics, so that'll help a lot with the people that have commented about better sound quality. So, that being said, let's get to the game. This sounds awesome. I will be fielding the Necrons, the Star Gods. I'm very comfortable with this army, very used to all the different abilities. I always want to say spells, but they're not spells, because you can't stop them. They're just abilities. And Noah is very comfortable with all the Far Seers and Wraith Seers and Spirit Seers, so he'll be controlling Iyanden. So place your bets now. Get a beer, relax, and watch Necrons versus Craftworlds. Thanks, guys. Cheers. First up, we have the Necrons. And it is a crazy force. Okay, so first up, we have a battalion. It is the Nevoke Dynasty Code, which gives me rerolls of misses in combat. I have a Lord with a War Scythe, and then I have the Warlord. He is a Destroyer Lord. And what I gave him, his Warlord trait is Enduring Will, Reduce the damage inflicted on your warlord by 1 to a minimum of 1. Pretty nice, -1 damage. And then for his relic, I give him the Sempiternal Weave. And that increases the toughness and wounds of the characteristics of the model by 1. So that combined with his scythe gives him strength 7, toughness 7, wounds 7. And he's -1 damage taken. He has a 4-up invul. He's pretty good, pretty choppy. He rerolls in combat. I like him. He's hard to give up, Slay the Warlord. In the battalion, we got bare bones 3 units of 5 Immortals with the Gauss Flayers. I know a lot of people go Tesla, but I just love the -2 AP on a troop choice. It's great. All right, unpainted. I apologize for it, but we have 12 Flayed Ones. I've been wanting to get them on the table. I've never used them. It'll give me nice board control because they can deep strike. It's pretty awesome. Along with this is a Transcendent Satan, a second Transcendent Satan, and a third Transcendent Satan. And I gave them all the Satan power of 3-up invul. So, I think it's got a funny name to it. But basically you have a choice between extra powers or extra movement. I did immune to natural law. This one right here. Add 1 to saving throws. So they on all 3 of them. So all 3 have a 3+ invulnerable save. So they'll be like little demon princes with even better invuls flying around doing nasty wounds and mortal wounds. Then, with 2 elite choices, I took the Nightbringer and the Deceiver. And I'm sure you've already noticed, in a separate super heavy auxiliary detachment, we took the Tesseract Vault. So that means you have a Tesseract Vault, Nightbringer, Deceiver, and 3 Satan. So this is a combat, mortal wounds heavy army. Yeah, we'll see how it does. It's got fairly good defense. The mortal wound output from all the Satan powers are really, really strong. But we'll see if it can get through all these 3 wound models of the Wraith Guard. We'll be right back with Craftworld Iyanden. And here we have Craftworld Iyanden. I'm going to do my best to name all these units correctly because this is more Noah's field of expertise. My Craftworld armies usually focus on Harlequins. But here we go. We have a battalion, we have a vanguard, and we have an outrider. So, here you can see a full 10-pack of Wraith Guard. Behind them is another full 10-pack of Wraith Guard. Right here, we have a 5-pack of the Wraith Blades with axes. Back here, we have a Wraith Seer, the Forge World special character Wraith Lord. This one is converted out of a Necron Satan, which is kind of talking trash about who they're going to play today. Also back here we have 5 Dire Avengers. We have all of our characters back here. We have 2 Spirit Seers, a Wraith Seer, and 2 Farseers. So a lot going on with the characters. They're all hiding back here behind this wall. We have 3 Vipers. They all have Bright Lances. We have 3 Wind Riders. I'm pretty sure that's right. And then we have 2 big Wraith Lords backing up the Wraith Seer. And behind these guys, way in the back, hidden back here, we have 2 packs of 10 Guardians. So it's a pretty huge army. It's got 10 command points. So the relic is going to be on the Wraith Seer, and it's the Phoenix Gem. When he dies, he explodes and does a shockwave of mortal wounds. If he causes any mortal wounds, he gets to come back to life with that many wounds back. So it's pretty amazing. And then the Warlord is actually going to be one of these little Spirit Seers. We'll say this one. And the Warlord trait is just a free reroll every single game turn. So pretty nice. Saves you some CP. That's 2,000 points. And we'll be back with armies all set up and showing you where all the objectives are. Thanks, guys. So the deployment zones were the Hammer and Anvil short edge with the point. So here's how the deployment is with the Necrons. On this flank, we have 5 Immortals
a Lord with a War Scythe and one of the Transcendent Citan with the 3-up Invul. And their game plan is pretty much to go hard for this objective. The board layout, by the way, is 3 in No Man's Land, 1 in each deployment zone. So it's going to be a bloody fight in the middle. It's going to be pretty awesome. Behind this line of sight blocking tower, we've got 5 Immortals. We have another Transcendent Citan, another Transcendent Citan, the Nightbringer, and the Warlord Destroyer Lord. So there's a lot going on right here. All these are character keyword. So these 5 are kind of there to just die first before he can start hitting these guys. In the back, we have the Deceiver and the Tesseract Vault. I'd have put them all the way back because if you've ever used Necrons or played against them, the Deceiver has himself plus D3 other units can redeploy right after the Seize rule up to 9 inches away from enemy deployment. And then they're allowed to move as well. The only rule is they can't charge that turn. But with Citan powers and all the shooting attacks from this, and the fact that it's not good at combat, I'm fine not charging. All I want to do is jump up to right there, shoot all my powers, and have this huge base right here that's terrifying, and then this one here that can move this way, and these guys moving this way. So we kind of have our plan set in place. In this magic box, line of sight blocker, we got 5 more sitting on this objective. As we pan across, you can kind of see where people are going to try to go. I'm going to warp people onto this one. I also have the 12 flayed ones off the board ready to deep strike turn 2. And then we get over here to his flying V formation. We have 10 Guardians. We have a Viper in the back to stop me from deep striking. Another Viper in the back for deep strike denial. Another Viper over there. And 3 of the Wind Riders over here. Along that edge, we have 10 Guardians on that objective, along with 5 Dire Avengers real close to it, also kind of facing that one. And then in the front, we have the Wraith Seer and 2 Wraith Lords. Behind them are the 5 Wraith Guard with axes, and in the middle of them that they're protecting are the 4 characters. He spent 3 command points to deep strike 2 units. So all 20 Wraith Guard with their single shot strength 10 d6 damage weapons are coming deep striking. So it's going to be pretty terrifying. He rolled to seize and failed. He rolled a 1. So it'll be Necrons turn 1. We'll do a recap after this. Thanks, guys. So turn 1 was a bit wild. I only rolled a 1 for the amount of models on a D3, the amount of units that he can warp with him. So he just took the Tesseract in himself and landed on this objective. It's underneath the Tesseract Vault. He ran from behind the tower to here. That's a Transcendent Citan made out of an Ultron action figure. They stayed. The multi-ball, we rolled a 1, so this objective was worth 2 points instead of 1, and the rest are all worth 1. These guys all advanced up, kind of kept their coherency so that you can't target him. You have to target the Immortals. These guys crept around the side, doing the same thing, keeping the Immortals in front so that these 3 characters can't be targeted. Then we unleashed all these magical abilities and magical powers that the Citan do. I mean, just tons of spells. Well, they're not spells. You can't stop them. They're like smite attacks that you can't stop. And this was the kill pile. Also, the Tesseract Vault shot into these Guardians that were right here. Killed the whole unit for first strike. We killed some of these. Killed a couple of the Axe Wraith Guard, which is huge because they're very dangerous. And just sprinkled mortal wounds on all the big guys. He went from 10 down to 4. The Wraith Seers lost a couple. He started at 12. He's down to 10, and he went from 10 down to 6. So we've hit them all pretty hard. It was a pretty insane amount of mortal wounds that all these Citan dish out. Then we shot with the Tesseract and killed the 10-pack, and that was my turn. So it was 2 for being on objective number 1, 1 for being on this objective, and first strike for a total of 4 points. Then the Eldar decided to hit back. So these guys advanced and kind of did a little line. Noah decided to sit still with all of his Vipers because they have bright lances, so he doesn't want that -1 to hit. He crept around right here with these bikers. And then everybody moved straight towards the Tesseract. He knows how dangerous it is. Also, I spent 2 command points for this special ability. It's a stratagem where if I'm within 3 of an objective and I didn't move, so there's a lot of parameters there, but I'm within 3 of an objective and the warping from the deceiver does not count as moving, so I was able to do it. And his 2 command points, he gets +1 to his saves. So he has a 2-up save, 3-up invul. So he's very, very beefy. These all came in. All 4 of these casters put all kinds of smite and mortal wounds on him and got him from 28 wounds all the way down to 16. So they did 12 wounds to him. Not quite bracketed. Once he's at 14, he'll be bracketed. So pretty nasty. This battle, we're just throwing mortal wounds back at each other. He then got into combat with these 2. Oh, all the shots. He shot his whole army at it. I rolled my 3-up invuls. He tanked it all. He took no damage. Then these guys came in, swung a bunch of d6 damage swords at it, and I rolled all my saves. I passed all my 3-ups. So it was pretty ridiculously bloody turn for the Necrons. The Necrons killed quite a bit and put a lot of damage on these big models. In return, it took 12 wounds, but that's it. No first strike. Couldn't kill it. Couldn't even bracket it. So things are going real well for the Necrons. Obviously, he's got about 700 points of strength 10 -4 AP d6 damage shots coming. So the Tesseract is going to die. But he's got a lot of scary stuff coming. But we have a lot of full health Satan. And if you've ever seen Satan in combat, they're basically demon princes. But mine have 3-up invuls. So really dangerous. So yeah, things are looking okay for the Necrons. Noah ended up scoring 1 point there, and that's it. He didn't get first strike, and he couldn't get on any other objectives. So it is now 1-4, and we're about to start Necron, turn 2. So like always, turn 2 was crazy. So much death, like what always happens in both AOS and 40k. So real quick sum up. First of all, multi-ball. The rule of the game is whatever objective you roll is worth 2 points and the rest are worth 1. And there's 5 objectives. If you roll a 6, they're all worth 2. And of course, we rolled a 6. So multi-ball happened and it was crazy. So these guys ran to here, scored on that. These guys ran to here, scored on that, created a little wall. They moved up. Over here, they stayed sitting there. The Tesseract Vault, the Deceiver, and a Transcendent Satan moved into this area and scored on this one. They got in some combat with some big Wraith Lords. Yeah, it was pretty messy. We did a lot of mortal wounds. We finished off the unit of the Axe Wraith Guard. Yeah, it was a real powerful turn. We killed a lot of Eldar. But then on his turn, they dropped in 10-pack there, 10-pack there. He did all his spells that buff units, so they have a 5-up Feel No Pain going into turn 3, and they were re-rolling all misses with Guide. They shot and killed the Tesseract Vault. It exploded. It blows up on a 4-up, 2d6 inches, d6 mortal wounds. It killed everything. It killed the Deceiver. It killed the Wraith Seer. It killed this Wraith Lord. Just did a ton of damage. I did bring in a pack of flayed ones right here. They failed their charge. Then on his turn, he unloaded with all the little boats, all the little flying boats, and the Guardians. Everybody shot the flayed ones and killed the unit, wiped them. So they did nothing. I mean, I guess they soaked up all the firepower, so that's nice. Then these guys decided to get greedy, decided to gamble, and did 5 shots into a Transcendent Satan that was right here, and 5 shots into the Nightbringer. They killed the Satan and took him from 8 down to 2. So it was really, really powerful turn for the Eldar. I mean, they're holding this field really strong. Problem is, they weren't able to get on the objectives. So now, at the end of turn 2, the Eldar have 3 points and the Necrons have 10 points. Because I scored 2 points there, 2 points there, 2 points there, and 2 points there. So it was very, very, very powerful. Or I didn't score this one, sorry, but I still scored on 3 of them. So 10-3. Moving forward, I have a lot of work to do because he has such fast units that he'll be able to, at the end of the game, just jump on all the objectives. So we really gotta We really got to hit hard right now. We got to kill all those guardians and that little dude right there on that objective. I got to send all 3 heavy hitters either into those guys, or because they have 5-up feel no pains, we might curve back and hit these guys because they'll be a lot easier to kill. Either way, we're going to take a lot of damage on turn 3 from the Eldar. We will see how turn 3 goes coming up. Okay, so turn 3 was bloody, to say the least. My characters, the Warlord and both Satan, went back this way and fought this giant 10-pack of Wraithguard and killed all but one. He then backed out of combat, did some shooting, he missed. We scored here. The multi-ball was a 2, which was right there, which I scored on again. He moved up a little closer. All my ranks of Immortals killed all the Guardians, but then in the Eldar turn, he moved up, killed all of them, scored on that. He had one jump to there and scored on that. He had these guys jump up and score on this one. He then did all his smite and shooting into my characters, killing the Nightbringer. When the Nightbringer died, it exploded and took a couple guys with it, which was awesome. He then killed my Warlord. And between the Warlord and the 3 he was on, it got him up to 7 points. But the objectives that I grabbed on my turn in the first half of turn 3 got me up to 14. So it is 14-7 right now. So, Necrons have 14 points. Eldar has 7. But look at the table. Eldar is just dominating the board right now. I mean, this guy's down to 2 wounds. I have a 5-pack right here that are going to jump back in out of line of sight and score on that one. I have a character hiding right there, scoring on that one. And I have a full health Transcendent Satan that's going to go try to grab that one. Because we just rolled it. That's the multi-ball right there. So, theoretically, fairly easily, I should score 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would put me on 18 points. But I am very quickly running out of models. I'm dying quickly. So, Eldar fans, you're making a comeback. Dominating the board. Time to get those points. Necron fans, I'm trying to hold out. We'll see if we can last. Turn 4 coming up. Okay, turn 4. The last remaining Satan jumped to here and charged and killed his Warlord, which was awesome. Then it died. Unfortunately, did not blow up like I wanted. I also got a Satan onto that objective, which was the multi-ball, the power ball, worth 2. So between Slay the Warlord being on that, and that, I'm now up to 19 points, which is like crazy. The most I've ever scored in a non-Maelstrom game. Then on his turn, he got on this objective with his last remaining Wraithguard, jumped to that one with one of the Vipers, jumped to within 3 with that Viper, and then shot everything at that Satan and killed it. These guys sprinted this way in the hopes of like a turn 5 or turn 6 to come kill that. So that got him on 3 objectives. Actually, he should have 11 because he scored 2 points for that one. So it is now 11-19 going into turn 5. So all I have left for the Necrons is a Lord that's been hiding out of line of sight scoring all game, and these 5 who've been hiding out of line of sight scoring all game. So I'm running out of models. He's slowly grabbing all the objectives because he just has so many fast units. But I'm up by 8, and I'm about to score 2 more. So hopefully it's enough to hold out. If he gets to turn 6 or 7, I'll probably lose. If it doesn't, I'll probably win. We'll be right back with turn 5. So the game ended up going all the way till turn 7. I'm just doing a quick recap because my turns, the Necron turns, literally consisted of me sitting still scoring. So this little guy held this objective as long as he could. But then these guys showed up, took it with numbers. I knew I couldn't fight them and win, so I just ducked out the back and hid right here to not get tabled for pride reasons. These 5, I had 5 Immortals sitting on this most of the game. They got in some fisticuffs with some Farseers and managed to beat one to death. But then on turn 7, Noah finally got his smites to hit home and killed all of them. So at the last 2 turns, game 6 and game 7, I really needed it to end on turn 5. But on turn 6 and 7, Noah scored on every single objective. So the final score, because of Linebreaker as well, was 29-22. Craftworld victory. So, crazy game, because Necrons were up by like 12 most of the game. I mean, I got up to such a huge lead. At one point, I think it was 19-7. But, it just tells you guys, you can't be too comfortable in Warhammer. I got up 19-7, and I looked at the board, and it was just all yellow. All Craftworld yellow. He was just everywhere with all these fast units and still a full 10-pack that I hadn't even touched yet. I got lucky with a lot of the multi-ball rolls at the beginning of scoring lots of points really quickly. But once those Satans started taking wounds, I just couldn't pass any of my 3-up invuls. It was just poor rolling in the second half of the game. And it was poor rolling on my part versus really high movement on Noah's part that just helped him solidify the victory. At the end of the game, he still had 10, 2 Vipers, a Wraith Guard, all 3 bikes, 2 characters, and all I had was this solo Necron Lord with War Scythe. So, yeah, it was it's pretty strong victory right at the last minute from Craftworlds. If the game had ended at the end of turn 5, if I could have rolled a 1 or a 2, Necrons would have won. But the game decided to go all the way to turn 7, and it helped him solidify the victory. So that's, those are the fun games when it's down to that last dice roll, where one person wants it to end so they can escape with the victory, and one person wants it to keep going so they can pull the victory away from defeat. So, Craftworld players, Craftworld fans, embrace, cheer. You've taken the win. You've proved that you are the better yellow army for now. I'm working on a new list that has 2 Tesseract Vaults, which I know is hilarious. I drop all the Satan on foot. I don't bring any of them. Just bring the 2 Tesseract Vaults. And I use all those points from the Satan on foot to bulk out my Immortal squads so that my Will Be Done becomes worth it. So yeah, that'll be a little more balanced army other than the 2 Tesseract Vaults. We were discussing which battle to do next. So, if any of you are fans of Custodes, however you pronounce it, and Space Wolves, we've decided fluff-wise, the Custodes have decided that the gene seed of the Space Wolves has become too mutated. There's too many werewolves running around. They need to be destroyed for the sake of the Emperor. So, Wolves versus Custodes coming up next, guys. Tune in. We've been churning these out because since we're in quarantine and I have all the armies here, Noah just has to be on a little screen. We can get a lot of these battle reports done. So tune in next time. This is Nick from Beer and Bat Reps. Like, subscribe, tell your buddies. Thanks. We'll get back to the full 2-hour ones soon. But for now, we'll just keep doing these shorter little recap battle reports till the pandemic ends. Thanks, guys. Stay safe.